I hate to tell you this, but if you are weighing yourself every day, you got some bad advice somewhere down the line. And I want you to succeed on the carnivore diet. So I'm going to tell you why this is bad advice and explain how often you really should weigh yourself. And I'm going to tell you what else you should be doing to monitor your progress on the carnivore diet. I'm Brian, and I've lost over 85 pounds and either improved or healed a number of health issues in nearly 3 years on the carnivore diet. I was able to lose 60 pounds in the first 3 months, and I got rid of inflammation and pain within the first month or two. So, you're probably wondering how often you should weigh yourself, and I'm going to share that with you in this video. All right. So, first of all, why is it not a good idea to weigh yourself every day? And the real reason that you don't want to do that is because your weight can fluctuate for different reasons, a number of reasons. You know, you could maybe not be drinking quite as much water in a particular day, or drinking more often, or maybe you ate something that gave you a little bit of bloatedness, and that could cause your weight to actually fluctuate up a little bit from one day to the next. And if you're weighing yourself every day, you're hoping to see that you actually dropped a little bit of weight, right? Or at the very least, that you stayed the same. So when you weigh yourself every day and you see from one day to the next it goes up, you get discouraged, you get disappointed. And if that happens enough times, you just want to quit. You don't want to do the diet that you're doing anymore. So this can be very harmful. It's a self-harming thing when you're weighing yourself all the time. So the key then becomes, well, how often should I weigh myself? We know we don't want to weigh ourselves every day, right? And probably the most ideal thing, if you really want to weigh yourself quite often, I guess I should say, would be to weigh yourself about once a week. That gives you a good baseline. You could always do it on the same day at the same time. Let's say you pick Saturday morning. You wake up normally, let's say 8 a.m. on Saturday. You can weigh yourself then. And then the following week, you weigh yourself again at that same time, same day, 8 a.m. And that gives you a good baseline as well, because when you're weighing yourself, at the same time of day, it's going to be fairly similar for you. Where if you don't weigh yourself at the same time, so one time it's 8 a.m., the next time it's noon, there's a lot of different parameters that could go into play there and could mean that there's a slight tweak in the weight and so forth. Like if you weigh yourself later in the day, you typically weigh more than you do earlier in the day. So always weigh yourself at the same time when you do it. And again, about once a week is a pretty good time to do it. All right. But weighing yourself is not the only thing you should do, especially on the carnivore diet, because when you're on the carnivore diet, the main things that are happening is you're losing body fat, but you're also building muscle. Now, people will say muscle weighs more than fat. Technically, that's not true. Like, something that weighs something, it's going to weigh the same no matter what it is, right? So the same weight of muscle weighs the same as fat, but the difference is that it's a much bigger amount of fat that weighs that same amount. So if, let's say, you lose 2 pounds of fat, but you gain 2 pounds of muscle. You don't weigh anything different. It's exactly the same, right? Because you had that fat and weight that were exactly the same. But the amount of fat that you actually lost has a higher density. It's much more fat that you lost than the actual amount of muscle that you gained, if that makes sense to you. So that's a big reason that you don't want to just go too much with how much you weigh. You want to look at other factors. And really, the fat loss is what we're looking for when we're talking about losing weight. We don't really want to lose muscle mass, we want to lose the fat. So That's what we're talking about when we want to lose weight, and that's what we need to be measuring. So you want to get yourself a tape measure, right? Um, people that for a living they work on clothes, the tailors or whatever, they have these tape measures, and that's the kind of tape measure you want. And you want to weigh yourself around your waist. You not weigh yourself, I'm sorry. You want to measure yourself around your waist, and then you want to do it again around your belly button. And I would suggest also doing it around your neck, doing it in your chest, doing it on your thighs as well. And if you want to check for the maybe the muscle gain that you're getting, do it on your biceps as well. So you're going to do those measurements, you're going to mark them down. And again, if you want to go weekly, you can, or you can change it to maybe every 2 weeks or something. And you're going to check those things again. Again, you want to try and keep it even so that you're doing it on the same time of the day. The same day of the week works best too. So if you're going to weigh yourself on Sundays, let's say at 8 a.m., right after you weigh yourself, go ahead and do those measurements. So you want to do all those measurements, and they are going to show you some really good progress, because there are going to be times that you are not going to see any weight loss on the scale. You might even see a little bit of an increase in your weight, but you're going to see your measurements change. You're going to see that measurement around your waist and around your belly button go down. You may see the measurement on your arms, on your biceps, go up. As you're building muscle, maybe the same thing like on your calves. If you decide to do your calves, I didn't mention that before, but that's another one you can do. So you're going to just definitely see the changes in your body with those measurements. And that is key. So that is why you want to do more than just weighing yourself. And of course, you now know why you should not weigh yourself every day. Now, another big mistake most people make on the carnivore diet is not eating enough. And I actually shot a video explaining how much you should eat and how often you should eat. Watch that video right here next, and I'll see you in there.